We're live. I always question it, but I do see live. Welcome, you guys, to my Friday virtual dinner date. This idea I came up with okay, Paco, when COVID started, I came up with this idea. Hi, Cassie. Hi, kitten. I came up with this idea when COVID started because we couldn't go out to have a virtual Friday dinner date and pretend we're together and pretend I'm cooking for you because I miss cooking for people. Hola, chica. Mary. One of the things I'm learning is, I think the music's good. I did a test. I hope it's good. Paco. Is to wait a little bit, I guess, to make sure people are there. Hi, kitten. Kitten. I always sort of start with my vodka. It's like, it's 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. All right, I'm gonna make a really cool dinner for you guys tonight. Hey, Regis, I miss you. How cool is this? So, I'll say it one more time. I never know when to really start with this. So I came up with this idea because with COVID, we couldn't go out. I'm still not going out, I'm just not. And I wanted to get together with friends, so I said, let's pretend we're together. So we're gonna use our imagination. And I call it my Friday virtual dinner date. Hungry Jersey girl. Oh, what cool, who is that? I love Jersey girls, they're the best. Anyway, well, we should get started. I want to do recipes that are low cost because I think during this time hopefully more people are going to cook. I can't stand this constant takeout. I don't get it. I don't do it. I don't get it. So they're cost effective and they're easy. So everyone, you could do these dishes. But I also like to do a spin and share, if I can, different places and their cuisine. So tonight, I set the alarm. I'm just going to try to talk for 14 minutes. I think that's enough. I'm taking you to Bhutan. One of my sisters like, Bhutan? Isn't that whore in Italian? I love my family. All right, it's not. It's a place. It borders on Asia. It borders on India and China, and so the cuisine is actually all right. So I'm sautéing red onions in olive oil, ginger and garlic. It's one of these nations that does not promote too much tourism, so the air quality is amazing. They're farmers, and it's hilly. It's almost like visiting Tuscany. And so their farms are tiered, and they cook very simply. It's what they have in their gardens. So I added ginger, garlic, onion. I started a little sooner because I'm making you a chicken stew that they make. They're huge on dried red chilies. And they're hot. Their food is, oh my God, I dropped one. Paco will get one on free. Could you imagine if Paco found a red chili? Not good. All right, 1, 2, 3. I put in about 4. I always wonder who's cooking along with me because I put it out on Wednesday. If you like it spicy, like my sister Kitten, Crazy Kitten, you might want to add a few more. I've seen some that are bigger too, so really judge it. I noticed in my Wednesday when I put it out, I wrote saute the onions for 2 minutes. I actually do it longer. I want them soft. Okay, just to share some things about Bhutan. Then you want to add tomatoes because they grow their tomatoes. They grow chilies. Matter of fact, when I was there, they were having a crisis of the red chilies. the demand was high, but the supply was low. So my guide, with my hiking, I had this amazing guide named Dorji. I learned a lot from him. He was incredible. Spoke 9 languages. He was saying it was a big thing at the time. Anyway, so you're going to add these gorgeous, gorgeous tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. Cook those a little while. You're going to add your chicken. I like chicken thighs. I really like chicken thighs. Put them on top. A little bit of salt. I do not add pepper to this. So one of the things that during this time of this trip, I had a big, huge decision to make in my life. And that year, typical, I think in America, we don't always think our parents are wise. I think in the Asian community, they look up to the older generation and ask for advice. And my mother and I were always at kind of like rams, 2 strong women. And during this year, and I kept on asking her for advice, but she was gone. She had died. And of all the people, she was the one person I really, really wanted to talk to. Megan, do you eat all this stuff by yourself, or you give it away? I eat more than people think, but I give a lot of food away. All right, so you put your chicken on top. Oh, again, they don't use a lot of herbs. Add some water, cover it. Okay, so I was asking my mother for help with this decision. And I'm a big believer in getting out in nature. And matter of fact, they've done studies where they did a study where decision makers, and they took one group and they said, before making a decision, you have to go outside. You have to leave your desk and go outside and walk around before making a decision. And then the other group were told not to. And the group that went outside at the end of the study, felt that they made a better decision. And I instinctively knew this. I'm like, I gotta head to the mountains. You don't have to like go to the Himalayas to make a decision, but I did. Anyway, when you see pictures of Bhutan, you'll see tiger's nest. They often show this monastery, which is absolutely, I don't know how they did it. It's built on rocks in a cliff, 10 to 11,000 feet up. And I was sharing with Dorji, my wanting to talk to my mother, and the night before this hike, she showed up in my dream, vividly, and she was happy. She was coming up a hill. She was with my youngest son, and I was sharing this with him. And what I love about meeting people like this is I can share these kooky things that I believe in, and he's like, yeah, absolutely. They'll show up in your dream and they'll answer your prayers, just like their prayer flags. And I was sharing the dream, and on the way down, I swear to you guys, on the way down, first of all, we did it really fast. Second of all, he found out how old I was when we got down to the bottom, and he like shook his head like he couldn't believe it. He said, we did that really fast. And he was like, how old are you? Which was a bad thing, because then I got really sick. But anyway, on our way down, I saw this woman coming up towards us, and she had children with her, all different ages, like 4 of them. And she had this radiance, like I can't read auras. Some people can read auras. It's like a color around certain people. But she had a radiance about her. And she was asking Dorji questions, and their language is Zonga. It begins with a D, Zonga. And I'm just smiling at her, and I'm smiling at the gorgeous children with caramel skin and black eyes. And there's a little girl, the little youngest, maybe 6, carrying a liter of Coca-Cola on the way up a hill. I mean, he said they use it as a park anyway. They don't go all the way, but afterwards I said to Dorji, have you ever seen somebody with a Coca-Cola, big Coca-Cola? He's like, no, that's the first. My mother was addicted to Coca-Cola. Total addiction. and there was this little girl. So for me, it was one of these bizarre trips that was crucial. Like I knew I had to take it instinctually. I knew I had to take it. It was like my mother's way of saying, you have my blessing, do this decision, go girl. All right, you guys, you put, did I put the water? You put water, you cover it, and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like. It's so gorgeous. It's so, did you see how easy that was? It costs nothing. You should be making this for your people, your families or whatever, your lovers. I cook a lot alone, so, I mean, you know, I cook for myself. So what I'm finding is I love one bowl dishes. So to answer your question, kitten, I'm totally Aunt Lori. Yeah. She was a cool chick. She was a tough broad. She made me tough. I love strong women. Men don't always, but I like strong women. All right, you guys, I'm going to share this with you. I added some potatoes and some green peppers because, can you see that? I hope you can. And that's it. You can make this, and again, I always try to make dishes that you can make the night before, like when you go back to work, if you're working, if you're entertaining, dishes that you could put in the refrigerator the next day, just reheat. They did not add potatoes. I took an amazing cooking class at my hotel, but you could add peppers and you could add potatoes and put it in the oven like I just did. Done. This is going to cook for an hour though. So that's, oh, did I say about the prayer flags? Food for thought. That got paused. Oh, I can't believe I did that correctly. I like to end food for thought, right? You guys, I'm getting some feedback. Yes, I can see it, but closer up would be better. Oh, okay. Regis, Regis, you guys, is on. He may be the only man. Is this better, Regis? Will you make this? It's on the, I don't know, it showed up, but, and by the way, it's not in any of my books, so you have to buy the next book. My next book is going to be called Cooking for Me, something like that. Don't anybody steal that idea. Yeah. All right, so I like to end with food for thought. Perfect timing. First, I'll have a little sip. My food for thought this week is an idea that I was trying to do a morning meditation, and I happened to be lucky enough to be next to a stream, which was gorgeous and amazing, and I'm blessed. I have a blessed life. And you're supposed to like close your eyes, and I sat down on a rock, and I really struggled with meditation, but I never give up. And I was like, why would I close my eyes? It's so beautiful. So, I get my eyes open. And then what happens, one thing leads to another. And I noticed the leaves were brown. And it like hit me. It's like, oh my God, this summer's over. And by the way, my birthday is Wednesday. Feel free to send no gifts, but happy vibes and beautiful chi. And I'm all about sending it any way you can. And by the way, with the COVID, I'm just pretending I didn't age 1 year. Let's just not do this year. Let's ignore it. Anyway, I noticed the brown leaves. I was sitting next to the brown leaves. And then one thing leads to another. I noticed a bug. Okay. I decided to sit and watch this bug. And it became meditative because I realized, without realizing it, I was sitting for 40 minutes watching a bug. And I think it could be a meditation because I wasn't thinking of anything else. And that's what you want to do with meditation, right? I was just watching this bug. And when I say, as I was watching her, I decided she was a female. It was like life, okay? So at one point, She is traveling on this leaf, gangbusters. She's moving straight. It looked like she had a plan, and she got to the end of the leaf, and I was so close that I could see her antlers, like she was assessing the next decision to make. And I could see that the next leaf wasn't far, but she was assessing whether it was worth the risk of jumping off. She paused, and her antlers were going, and she made the decision to turn around. And I'm sure it was a hard decision, right? Like, she was going forward, she had to go backwards for a little while. So she went backwards. But she didn't have to go all the way backwards, but I'm sure, you know, who knows what a bug thinks, and I think of it as a life lesson. Probably a little disappointed that she had to go backwards. However, she found a way halfway through where she could make a right, and that leaf was touching another leaf. So she went a different route, and who knows, maybe it was for her, maybe it was actually a nicer route, right? And then she got back on her route, like she loved the new route, and she was moving along, and I was watching her and watching her. And at one point, she was at the edge of a leaf. I mean, it looked treacherous. And her legs, you could tell she was holding on for dear life. And I wouldn't help her, I was just watching. I was there to observe and learn from her. It took a little while, and it looked scary, and she got her footing. And she went a little farther. Oh, okay, my time is up, but I want to finish my story. She went a little farther, and then she did something fascinating. She paused. I couldn't see her feet. I couldn't see her antlers. She paused. And, you know, we've been calling this the great pause. And I keep saying we're going to learn lessons from COVID in this difficult time. I know I've learned a lot of things the last 4 years that were difficult. I learned more. It's like she knew she had a rest. It's like she knew, okay, I need to pause because that was scary. And I don't know if you were with me when I was talking about Thailand and that monk that took me on that incredible hike, and how he put the ski pole in the middle of the walkway, if you followed me and if you remember, and he said, well, you're not at your goal yet, but if we take a few steps and you turn around, but you're not where you started from. And it was like she was doing that naturally. She just knew naturally. I got this far. I'm going to stop and I'm going to celebrate, and I'm going to pause because she wasn't done yet. She still had a lot of work ahead of her, and she knew she had to garner some energy, I think, in order to go farther. So I decided to share that. I call it my bug meditation as my food for thought this week, because I think we could all learn from the bug in decision making and pausing when we need to pause, and holding on strong when we need to hold on strong, and being okay if we got to take a different route to get to where we want to go. COVID has been a much needed pause and reset. Yep. Can everyone else see these comments, or am I the only one? I spent 40 minutes watching a bug. People will wonder what you were on. Oh, I'm so used to that. And by the way, that's why I like to hang out with people more like me, because then they don't look at me like I'm dumb or crazy. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed tonight. Next week, I don't know, I might talk about just birthdays and my philosophy on chapters in life. Love you guys. I'm so glad you joined me. Yeah, we can see them. Aw. See you next Friday. Bye.